trades happened today. Nothing like we all thought DeJounte Murray was getting moved, but the Hawks decided, hey, let's see what we can do with this. I thought they should have just moved them probably at this point. But you know what? The Sixers made some moves. The Knicks made some moves. The Pacers made some moves. The Spurs traded Doug. It's a lot going on right now, man. But first things first, before we get into it, Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people out here, man.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, viewers? I'm glad to be back, man. Let's get to it. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, man. We're trying to run it up over here. Let's go.
Let's get straight to it. Johnny, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hello, world. Just Johnny tapping back in again, baby. Listen, just an analyst, not an advocate, just an analyst. Trade reviews, man. How about this? NBA, whole lot of nothing, if you ask me.
Ain't it like that every year though? They hyped it up like on a big note. For the most
Seems
part,
like it.
For the most part, it is.
It's more, free agency is more big of a deal. Seems like
free agencies for the stars. The trade deadlines for the journeymen and role players. Like that's what it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Listen, Buddy Hill. What's this? His 14th? Because he was on the Pelicans, the Kings,
the Pelicans,
What was he on? This is like 14.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's see if he make it last with this one. All right. With that being said, let's get straight to it. Kyrie, I'm gonna start with you. Listen, man. A lot of trades went down. Like I said earlier, nothing that had changed the landscape of the playoff, maybe, but not too much. But in your opinion, just think what was some of the highlights trades in your opinion? Like, what was the best trades done today so far, in your opinion? And did that trade particularly help their franchise improve their chances of contending, competing for a playoff, or break it down?
Nah, I didn't really see any like room shaking moves being made. I've seen a lot of refining. Like a lot of teams like getting pieces that they feel like they might need or that might like boost like give them a little boost somewhere they think they're lacking. And one of them is what you mentioned, Colin, and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is a shooter. He's been that his entire life. He's a guy that moves off the ball well. He gets hot from the outside. And I think that's somebody the Sixers kind of need, especially off the bench, because for years you guys have struggled with with bench production and guys having that guy off the bench, I should say. And getting a guy like Buddy Hield who's comfortable starting when he needs be or coming off the bench, he's going to show up and he's going to do what he gets paid to do, and that's shoot the ball. As far as addressing the needs, I don't think the Sixers really did that as far as like beefing up like the big man. Like the 4 and the 5 position, especially with Joel Embiid being out with what we now know is a torn meniscus, and is going to require some time.
MVP race is out. He's done.
MVP race is out, sadly, and this coming from the Knicks fan, he had it, bro. He had
it. Yeah.
And if we get to it, we're going to talk about that later, the whole 65 games thing, but. I think the Sixers needed to go after like another big or something like that. You seen a guy like I think Daniel Guthrie got moved today. He ended up going to the Mavs?
Yeah.
He actually did. They picked him up.
The
Mavs they desperately needed a front court in their own
right.
The
Wizards got Rashawn Holmes, which I thought was they just dumped him in there pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure of that. Yeah,
the Raptors and Jazz trade to me is interesting because it's like
I was going to finish off with that, Colin. Well, with the Buddy Hield John real quick, but
go ahead.
Yeah, y'all made a move like to get somebody off the bench, but I still think y'all was lacking in that department with the big men, as far as like supplement for Embiid. But like I said, you seen a guy like Gafford get moved, somebody like him, a rim runner that can go. Again, you know what he is already. He's gonna bring what he's been bringing, which is rebounds and block shots and running. But you mentioned the Raptors trade, Colin, I believe. With him and the Jazz. So what do y'all think of like the Jazz like moves? Like you see them get rid of a young guy like Ochai Agbaji who could have fell victim probably to like them having a lot of guys in their backcourt, but they also got rid of a guy Simone Fontecchio who when guys like Laurie Markkinen went down, the rookie Keontae George went down, he came in. He showed to be a good shooter and good scorer and bunches. So what do y'all think? Like what y'all think the Jazz got going on?
Well, I mean, the Jazz are like a middle of the pack, fringe lottery type of team, because can they make the playoffs? Maybe during the tournament in, maybe they might make not tournament in.
The play-in tournament.
Yeah, the play-in tournament. Excuse me. They might make some. Even if I don't think they'll probably get to that point, but who knows? But they've always been that middle of pack team. They're never competing for the title, but they're not that horrible to where they're consistently in the lottery. They're
Yeah,
just there. So I'm trying to see where they was trying to go with this move. It was interesting because they got Kira Lewis Jr., which I think at this point is pretty much a bust in my opinion. What he got taken in 2020, Kyrie,
I
or
think
was
it was
2021?
2020 or 2021, one of them, John.
Yeah, he's just been a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think more so where he got drafted to that really played a part, but he's just been really disappointing. Maybe they put him and Keontae George. No, Colin Sexton's still there. So I don't even know why they got Kira Lewis at this point. He's just there to me.
Did they get picks for it? Because they
They got
seem like
a 2024 first round pick. That's what the Jazz received from
so.
the Raptors. So I guess that's why.
All right, so I feel like the Jazz seem like this whooping. The pattern with them for the past couple of seasons to me is like they're always trying to compete while still rebuilding for the future, and
Mm.
they always seem to unload at a time where you think they're trying to make a push. And they did it again. And it's like they hold on to certain pieces, but then they unload again. And so, but then here they go. They're trying to build for the future. So they never seem like they're sold on. They're still trying to find that core, and they're still trying to push. It's weird. We've seen them do this with players before, and you wonder, like, what I mean, what are they aiming for? Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. I think that's the longest stretch that they've tried with those two players they tried to build around. But other than that, it seems like they're rebuilding. But right when you say that, it seems like they're making a push as well. So I can't really call it with the Jazz. It's really weird. But they've been like this as a franchise, like you said, Colin, like a team that's not ever gonna they're not gonna really get there this year. But that's just been their notion. Like just that's just been their heritage. Like they just always been their culture, just always trying to get to there, but never getting to the championship. And I actually can't call it with them, but it just seems like the same pattern that's been repeated. Like they're just trying to rebuild while still trying to compete. But we don't know what they're ultimately looking for. It's stumping me.
Yeah, I found that confusing. I also found it confusing that they gave up Kelly Olynyk, now who's a vet and who is somewhat of a journeyman. He's bounced around a little bit, but he's still a guy that's gonna like he's still serviceable. I feel like a lot of playoff teams or a lot of like fringe playoff teams could use a guy like Kelly Olynyk. And bringing him to his native country, he is Canadian. Bringing him over to Toronto. Maybe they unlock some kind of like they did with RJ Barrett. But I think it was a good move for them also because they kind of need that vet. Like Toronto's one of those teams that's kind of like trying to stay somewhat relevant, of course, with that core of Scotty Barnes now, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel quickly. But they know they're not there right now. They try to and they're trying to build pieces up to get there. And I think adding a vet like Kelly Olynyk, it was a solid move. Like it was like again, it's not like a home run or nothing. But I want to speak on something the Raptors also did was they traded Dennis Schroeder for Spencer Dinwiddie. That was Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young, I believe, for Spencer Dinwiddie. And I like that for Schroeder because once quickly got there, we seen his minutes kind of fluctuate, and as well as his touches and his opportunities too. He didn't really get as many opportunities, and Quick was out there. And you can't really blame him because Quick was playing good. And him going to a place like Brooklyn, especially swapping for Dinwiddie, let's be honest, he's been cheeks this season. I think that's just another savvy point guard, a guy that could get like guys like Nick Claxton involved and get Day'Ron Sharp involved. Of course, keep the ball flowing between Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. He gets added on the defensive end. He's still pesty and plays the passing lanes. I think Dennis Schroeder is a pretty underrated guard in my opinion. And I think swapping him with I'm sorry, with Spencer Dinwiddie, who ended up getting waived by Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good move in my opinion for Brooklyn.
There's another player that got waived as soon as he got traded too. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but boy.
Say that again, Colin. My fault.
Oh, I said yeah. It was another player that he got as soon as he got traded for. They waived him,
Well,
literally.
like they did that to Robin Lopez.
Yeah, the Rockets in the Grizzly trade. I think the Rockets definitely fleeced the Grizzlies. I don't know why they give them Steve Nash. That was just like whoa. Like the Rockets is gonna make some noise.
What happened with that? What was that trade again?
They traded for Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round
Yeah.
picks, and they
Oh
waived
yeah,
Victor Oladipo because Victor Oladipo at this much he's tore his legs are pretty much done at this point. He'll never be the guy that he used to be, and it's a shame. But
yeah, it is a shame because Victor Oladipo was nice. He had a nice season.
oh man, he was awesome. That injury robbed him.
And they got off of an injured Steven Adams too, who we could be seeing like the end of his career possibly with all these injuries.
I hope not. He went to my high school. I'm still rooting for him. Fellow K like here, Roman Catholic. Shout out to my Steelers, man, for real. I hope he still can make it out there.
But I don't think the only other honestly the only other
Like
move
none of
that
these trades are exciting.
I was just about to say the only trade that like really like I feel like really made a team better
The
like
Knicks,
significantly was the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even being a homer right here. I mean we got rid of Quentin Grimes, who I feel like kind of hit his cap with and being in kind of like that rotation with Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart. It just didn't really work out for him because the shots weren't there.
Oh,
and we got off of Evan Fournier's contract, who's been getting paid like 19 million to sit on the bench. And we got Alec Burks, who's already played with us. He's already played under Tibbs. He's familiar with our guys.
Right.
And we got Bojan Bogdanovic, who's been putting up 20 points a game. At 35 years old, mind you, he's playing with the bum ass Pistons. But that's still a guy we can rely on to hit shots from the outside. OG Anunoby just went down. He's getting like a procedure on his elbow.
So y'all threw in Quentin Grimes too. I feel like y'all should have kept him.
I think bro. I think he hit his cap with us. We seen like a little bit more of what he could do last year when he actually started for us. He put up like 11 points a game, like 4 boards.
Yeah, he's down to like 7 points per game this year.
Yeah, but it's because he's not aggressive. And it may be because of Tibbs, because we've seen Tibbs do this to guys at certain times where like he's just a spot-up shooter now.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I feel like it's up to him kind of to take that initiative to attack more, to look to body hunt and to get fouls more, just to see the ball go in. I mean, and I just don't think he was getting that cut. It's a solid defender. I'll give him that. He played really good defense too, and I think we're going to miss that to an extent. But the Knicks are already a very good defensive team. That's what we hang our hat on. That's what our whole identity is.
Man, listen, you guys changed after that OG Anunoby trade. Oof, that changed the whole. Like y'all's ceiling now is like you guys compete for a title? I wouldn't say that's crazy, but you guys it's hard. It's hard.
I'm trying to remain humble. I wouldn't say that's crazy neither, but I don't think so just yet, considering like what Boston's doing. But I think we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. But you're right, Colin. Since OG Anunoby came, we have been a completely different team. But again, circling back to my point, having him out for 3 weeks, maybe a month, and having Jules out for some time with that separated shoulder, having veteran guys like Alec Burks, again, a guy that's been in the system before, and Bojan Bogdanovic, who's bounced around and who's been traded midseason before and hopped on the team and still did his thing. They're going to blend in seamlessly. They're going to play fine. And I honestly think that added on to that depth, giving us some guys off the bench or maybe pushing some guys to the bench that can score more, that can help Deuce McBride out because he's still an inexperienced guard. He's still learning how to play out there, and he's still trying to fill in that Quickly role, which is some big shoes to fill right now because Quickly was a 6 Man of the Year candidate and a bucket getter off the bench. So we're still trying to find that, but I think I really think we improved a lot with this little trade right here.
Johnny, all right, listen. So I'm gonna put the spotlight on you. So tell me, who would you describe as the winners of this trade and the losers of this trade? Break it down from your perspective. And what trade, in your opinion, is probably the most interesting, and you think we should pay attention to moving forward and seeing how this impacts this particular franchise?
Well, see, I'm gonna tell you this now. This trade this year, like Kyrie said, it was a whole bunch of role players and a whole bunch of like puzzle pieces, right? And I feel like certain teams added right puzzles, and a lot of teams missed on a lot of puzzles. And
Right.
like Kelly Olynyk, for example, like you mentioned, I feel like he's a piece that fits anywhere. Why would the Jazz let him go? Why did Boston let him go? Why did he play for Indiana? Why they let him go? Like he fit
It was the Heat.
everywhere he went to.
He played
Oh,
for
the
the
Heat. I'm
Heat.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he fit everywhere that he went, and it's just like it's all about pieces though at right times. And so with that being said, like dog, I'm not gonna lie. One of the trades that I saw that didn't happen, I want to start off with that. A couple of trades that I saw that didn't happen that I felt like should have happened.
Right.
Pieces at right times. Kyrie, I even hollered at your Knicks about this one. I'll start off with y'all. I like y'all for Bruce Brown a whole lot. I believe you would agree. Like I know you guys hang your head on defense, and at the end of the day, you guys probably don't have everything you possibly need to get past Boston just yet. But Bruce Brown would have been a hell of an addition, especially considering what happened to OG Anunoby. He would have been a nice fit. I'm surprised that didn't happen. Andre Drummond should have came back to Philly. And I say that again. Andre Drummond should have came back to Philly. As soon as Kaminga fell on Embiid's knee and he screamed like that, Daryl Morey should have went in the hallway in the skybox. He should have went in the hallway and dialed up and called up Chicago and called them about Andre Drummond. Y'all, they blowing it up anyway over there. So, I mean, for the like, obviously we need size, but at the end of the day, dog, he's still averaging a double-double at the age that he's at. 11 boards and 10.5 points a game. We could definitely use that.
Of course.
So those are two pieces that I felt like at perfect times that would have fit teams that didn't happen. I really thought that since we mentioned DeJounte Murray, I thought he would have matched with the Pelicans very nicely because of the fact that beyond the streak that he's having, I mentioned Brandon Ingram being an All-Star snub. I like Zion the way they was getting the way they're starting to gel. CJ's coming together. I felt like he would have came over there at a good time. He probably would have been able to fit over there nicely. And who knows what the Hawks could have got back for him. But at the end of the day, a lot of pieces that didn't happen, I felt like should have happened. I was a little upset on that. Speaking of upset, I also want to move on to pieces that did happen that I just like scratch my head. Pat Bev for campaign, we got to talk about it.
That was crazy.
Pat Bev for Cameron Payne.
That was crazy.
I think that's horrible for Philly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right to the Bucks. I think it's Doc. Maybe Doc made a phone call or something. I don't know, but like that helps the Bucks out as far as like playoff experience. Pat Bev does have a knack for turning teams around. We saw Minnesota. We saw Chicago. Pat Bev's a spark plug. And if you're a playoff team that's struggling, like the Bucks are, I think they're like what 19th or 18th in defense. Yeah, right. 18th in defense right now, something like that. Bottom that's horrible, bro.
Yeah,
When you're going up against Boston, looking up and going against teams up in Boston, you got to have defense, and they get fried, especially on the wing side. And what do Boston have? Wings. Like, I mean, we proved Giannis is Giannis, but bro, they need defense, especially when you're going up against a top team like Boston and other teams thereof. So with that being said, that's a winner for them. I understand what Philly did. We need shooting, Kyrie. You made a point on that. We need shooting. I think we're like, where are we at? We're 27th in the league in threes made right now. 27th. That's weird saying, considering the Sixers have always been one of the top tier, middle to top tier teams, and as far as shooting the basketball from three, like consistently over the past couple of seasons. I've not seen this in a while from us. Like bad shooting from 3-point line.
Johnny, the interject.
36%.
I mean, even though I'm not too fond about campaign, he is shooting 39.
39% from three. You got to see what they're doing there, right? Buddy Hield, he's 38%. Them two alone is better than our team as a whole. From three right now.
It's definitely up. I will say that.
So I get it. I get that for sure. And I'm glad we paid some attention to the wing a lot after Kelly Oubre. So Buddy Hield definitely can help. 3 years too late if you ask me. Because I wanted him after the Ben Simmons debacle. I wanted him when Sacramento was shipping him.
We could have had Tyrese Halliburton. Think about that. 2
how about that? Pieces that didn't happen at right times, right? Here we go again. Like, it's puzzle pieces, y'all. Puzzle pieces. These pieces ain't coming together, and we just not making the moves. Like Kyrie said it, a lot of teams didn't get better. For real, for real. I like New York. I will say,
Johnny,
I actually like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I throw an idea at you with a player that you threw at us? Well,
What?
how come the Bucks didn't go after Bruce Brown?
That's a good question.
You talk about
Oh, they got Chris Middleton. Oh, they got Chris Middleton over there. And if our Restricted Zone podcast fans watch the show consistently, they know that Chris Middleton is also on our bum list. Rudy Gobert.
Well, I'm
Okay.
saying,
What's he doing? He's supposed to be the guy, right? I'm not going to lie. He's dropping 15
Man,
points a game. I'll
he
give it to him.
is.
He's averaging like 15 a game.
He
I'll give him
is.
that.
He's
But I mean,
shooting.
I think he's like along with like 4 or 5 downs a game. I'll give him that. But you
He,
know, he's not taking over Chris Middleton's
but
spot.
he's
Maybe
not.
he can
He's
come off the
not
bench.
playing. He's
I
not
don't know.
playing like his contract. Though. I'll say that.
even then, bro, even then, he's a wing defender and he's switchable. Like you mentioned, Johnny, they get killed on the wings, and that's what when ultimately when you looking at who you got to play or who you got to get through in that East. Boston got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown right there, and having a Bruce Brown, it doesn't stop the whole. I mean, it doesn't like plug the hole completely, but it makes it a whole lot easier on you. You got somebody that's out there that's aggressive and that's gonna defend guys and that's gonna make life harder on them. So once like when you
It helps.
mentioned that when you went to the Bucks, that made me think about that. Like how come they ain't pursue
Word.
them?
And honestly, that's more to my point. It's just another piece. It does, like you said, it don't solve. It doesn't give you the whole picture, but it brings you back to your identity of what you originally were, and takes you back to your culture. You got to go back to basics here. And at the end of the day, they're not above blowing it up. So, like, yeah, that's another piece that didn't fit. Like even with the Knicks or the Bucks, another piece that can fit at the right time that they didn't make. That's another move that's weird. But a move that I did like, though, I will say the Suns, Phoenix Suns actually got a nice piece in Royce O'Neal. I
Yeah.
like him going there.
Yeah.
I like him going there. And here's even more so. Critics might say he lost a step due to age. Royce is still Royce. He's still good for 10 points a game, give you about 3 to 4 boards and a whole
Yeah.
hell of a lot of defense. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And at the end of the day, Phoenix Suns, they can never go wrong with that. Especially after that big three is just now starting to gel. I think they all like Bradley Beal. He's coming along. Like that mask, it seems to be working for him. Any player that puts the mask on seems to be snapping. I don't know what's up, but
Yeah.
Durant's
Yeah.
there. Booker's always booked. Like they coming together, right? We got our offense together. Now they're getting their defense together, and I feel like Royce could really help that. Main point though that I like about this trade, they were able to keep assets like Grayson Allen, Nasir Little. You didn't have to give them up. That's important. And because those are two-way players, a little bit better scorers than Royce. So he can add to that defense, and you still can rely on them with the offensive support after after your big three. So I really like them. That bumps them up in that. That really bumps them up in that. And my last thing, I got a head scratcher. One last head scratcher.
Right.
PJ Washington to the Mavs. Do y'all like PJ? You like that? Here's my head scratcher with
No,
that.
I'm saying thank you for bringing it up because
No, I do. No, I like that. Actually. I like that.
What you like about it,
All
Colin?
right.
Because listen, the Hornets wasn't trying to use him. Well, I mean, the Hornets was using him, but the way Miles Bridges was playing, it was clear PJ Washington was going to have to come off the bench because Miles Bridges was playing he has to play like the way he's playing because he really on a. It's like his last year, the time to a 1 year deal.
Yeah, Miles might be out of there.
But I don't know if the Hornets might take it. I don't see why he's still young. He's not even 28. That's what I'm saying. They can still.
Why you
invest
like
in
it, Kyrie?
Miles.
I was going to say that I don't necessarily like it, but the only bright spot in this to me is that the fact that Hornets get another first round pick. All right, maybe I might take that back, knowing that they might fumble it because they got some of the worst player development.
They'll be in the lottery the next couple years. You know that.
But that's
And
Dallas' first round pick, so that's that's probably gonna be like a mid rounder. But as far as getting a Grant Williams,
Is Grant Williams better than PJ Washington?
not right now as far as this season. PJ Washington has been really solid, especially
Yeah.
when Mark Williams.
Last year I liked him. I liked he was coming into his own
PJ
last
Washington was cooking last year too. That's what I'm saying. So
And Mark
the Mavs
when
don't-
Williams went down, he started playing more. He started playing more at the five with Nick and swapping out with Nick Richards and stuff like that. I, I they got a vet in Seth Curry. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I don't
I
know what
missed
the.
that.
I mean, the Hornets are
But
probably looking at this as like we're not going nowhere this
yeah,
year.
and
Let's see
that's
what
my
we can
main
do next
point.
season.
But that's my main point right there. Like PJ's solid for where he's at and who he is, but he's still got upside. But it's what you gave up, like you said, Kyrie, a first round pick, and they gave up what was it, a 2027 first, but it's still a first rounder, and a
Yeah,
2030 first round swap. So that's
okay,
that's one first round swap for a PJ Washington.
yeah,
I'm not saying it's not really evening out on the scale. So,
mm,
but I get the Mavs are that much needed of a front court, and they're
Yeah,
probably and they're Mark Cuban's probably sick of it because they get beat the same way every year in the playoffs in the
so
front court. So,
how much do you think
you know, did what
PJ
they
helped?
could.
PJ helps. He provides scoring. Grant Williams not a scorer. He can play. He plays defense. Maybe not to Grant Williams level, but the defense is there. Rebound is not an issue. I think he's a
Yeah,
solid passer. I mean, you don't lose out with getting PJ Washington, in my opinion. Plus, PJ
yeah. We'll see
Washington,
what
what?
those first round picks amount to. But like you said, mid rounder maybe
Yeah,
considering Dallas.
Yeah, consider
All
Dallas
right.
relevant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. I mean, that's it, man. There's a whole bunch of it was a whole lot of nothing, but it was a little bit of something. I Yeah, bro, grind my gears on the Pat Bev thing. And honestly, he grew on me because I
I
wasn't a
love
fan
Pat.
of Pat Bev's game. He grew on me. He fit. It's a piece, man. Pieces are important. We
bro.
understand superstars. We understand players that can carry you there. We understand gelling. We understand super teams, big threes, and all that. You have to have role players, and it's not even that many. Maybe one or two can carry you over. Because outside of your starting five, let's think about it. You're only It's maybe a big three off a bench that a coach is playing. Maybe the good teams that'll go deeper. You got four. You'll go four deep off your bench at the most, and maybe in the playoff time, depending on matchups, you got two of those bench players that might actually do you some solid. So at the end of the day, you get what you can get. But I'm telling you, man, these solid players matter, solid pieces matter. And I feel like the Sixers, as a Sixers fan, we just did not do what I expect.
I still say
But
we're like
as
top
far as the
three.
league, it was a whole bunch of nothing, but a little bit of something.
All right.
Yeah,
Couple of steals.
Before we get on to the next topic, I do want to. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. OKC, it hasn't been official yet, but the plan is for Gordon Hayward to go to Oklahoma, and then the
Oh, I
Hornets
read
will
that.
the Hornets will receive trade
Mm.
man. Besides, I can't even pronounce his, but I thought the Thunder's gonna look back and kind of regret giving him up. I feel like he's definitely one of those guys. He fits OKC. I was surprised they
Yeah,
gave him up too.
he's
it's
playing, he's
structured.
playing well for a rookie.
Yeah, I was surprised they gave him up, but they gave him up with Trey Man, which I didn't. I figured they'd let him go because Trey Man's just there to be there, and they did give 2 second round picks, 24 and 25.
OKC
A lot
Now,
was
of
another
second
team though.
rounders.
OKC didn't get any more size neither. That was another team that possibly missed out on some pieces.
but no, I can't say that. I feel like Gordon Hayward's there for the veteran leadership off the
I
bench,
said,
or he can start him.
That's
But
fine.
I
he
said,
fits.
When I saw
But
Gordon
he
Hayward, I
fits.
said,
He
But,
fits
Greg
OKC's.
made the point last episode that you can't really trust Chet Holmgren right now. Like with the Chet Holmgren we're talking about right now, can't really trust him as a rebounder or to get you a key rebound down the stretch or deep into the playoffs because he's still developing into his frame. And I made the point also that the next guy off their bench or their next big is Jalen Williams, who's like 6'8", 6'9".
He's 6'9", but he got the strength. He got the speed. They can play that small ball, which OKC
Still,
does well. Warriors
bro,
played it a certain amount of time.
they don't have enough size.
They got a bench. The size, you're right, is very concerning. But they got a. I mean, they're number two right now in the West.
Yeah, you're right, and they're number two for a reason. But they're still a young team. So
yeah, if we're talking longevity, bro, the playoffs get deep. And
mhm.
like, yeah, another peak that I saw Gordon Hayward and I said, and hey, a lot of second rounders, bro. Another thing Colin mentioned, second round picks. I think the Nets got 3 second round picks from the Suns in that Wilson Hill trade.
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro, these second rounders are just tossing around like wild cards, man. They're just picking
Hey,
up second teams are picking up second rounders like, you know what I mean?
listen. I mean, OKC is you gotta think the abundance of picks they have. It's not killing them to give away 2 second round picks. They got so many
Mm.
picks. It doesn't really hurt their pockets at
Yeah.
all.
That was something I liked about the Knicks too. We didn't give up any of our first round picks. uh and today at the trade deadline. We gave us the second rounders, but we still got plenty of first round picks.
Yeah, I think the Sixers gave up a second rounder too. What was that with second rounders, man? They just well, a lot of second rounders. That's the funny thing. You can just get them back in the summertime, just like trade for them and get them back.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Nobody really worried about them. Like it's
Yeah,
2, 3 second rounders really turn into like rotation players. Like when it's all said and done. Like
That's fair. All right, that's fair. All right, let's get on to the next topic. And these two questions kind of coincide with each other, but we're just gonna stick with the West first. I did say the original question was who's the biggest threat to the Nuggets in the West, but at this point, who's the biggest threat to the Clippers at this point? The Clippers are playing out of their minds. Like listen, we trashed the Clippers. They went 0-7 their first games, right? They was awful, right? James Harden to Russell Westbrook decided to be the bigger man, in which I love Russell for that. That's why I understand we come at him because he makes some of the most poorest shot selections we probably ever seen. But he's he's definitely a guy you want on your team because he's willing to make the sacrifice when it comes down to it. And honestly, who's the biggest threat to the Clippers? And this is what I want to say too. I think the Clippers, like I said, I think Celtics might win the title just because they've been like I don't see them not winning the title at this point. But if the Clippers do make it to the finals, it would end so many narratives for that team. You got Paul George. He's never James Harden. Russell never gets a ring. So like so many narratives get ended right there. So I'm kind of rooting, and then they step out of the Lakers' shadow a little bit. I'm rooting for the Clippers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm rooting for them to actually make some noise. But who is the biggest threat to the Clippers right now in the West? Give me your 2 or 3 teams, Kyrie.
bro, the West is kind of a gauntlet right now. And I still think in the way the Nuggets can be considered like the top team
Mm,
because let's not get it twisted. The Thunder, the Clippers,
and the
the
Wolves.
Wolves, and the Nuggets, they're all only separated by like a game or so. Like it's
Right.
very tight right now. It is very tight right now.
Mm,
And I still think the Nuggets still have that edge because in my eyes they got the best player in the league right now as we
of
speak in
course.
Nikola Jokic. And I don't think either one of those teams, not even the Wolves with Cat and Rudy, have anybody to stop him.
Well, I
And I
mean,
think
you would kind of hope those Twin Towers would do something. Sheesh.
no, no, no. I don't. They're not stopping Jokic, bro. Like just because of that, like like and from what I've seen so far this season, I still see like kind of view like subconsciously even like Denver as being the top team in the West. So
Mm,
like I'm still kind of viewing it from that perspective, especially since like hey they didn't reign a chance, bro. Somebody got to knock them off.
gotcha.
So and they're the reigning champs to tell them. But as far as like the most like threatening teams to them in my mind
Right.
is definitely between the Clippers and the Suns.
I don't count the
And
Suns. I
I
can't.
see and you right, Colin. The Clippers really been snapping lately. I've been tuning into them more, and like I mentioned last episode, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard really figured out how to play and remain aggressive around James Harden, who's still going to seek his shots, but it can also get the offense orchestrated and get other guys involved. And
Here was
they
Zubac said in the post game how blessed he was to have a point guard like Russ and James Harden.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and and guys like Daniel Tice, other bigs, he's benefiting off that too. Guys off the bench screen that we mentioned before, like Norman Powell's coming off and playing good still. Russell
Right.
Westbrook's coming off the bench and doing his thing. This Clippers team is really Amir Coffey is another like underrated, like under the radar type of guy that comes in and gives them spurts
you
of
mentioned
buckets.
him before.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty good. He's got a nice little lefty stroke. He can hit it from the outside. Um, I really like this Clippers team. They're deep, but I think overall the Suns team may be a little more talented, slightly more talented. And we're talking about a guy like Devin Booker, who I made the claim last episode that he's one of the top all around players in the league right now. And you mentioned it, Johnny. Him, Bradley Beal's getting back into his flow. Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. They're starting to mesh and they're starting to play around together and benefit off and play off each other a lot better. And there's the glue guys. Grayson Allen's been playing amazing this season. Eric Gordon's still hitting shots from the outside. Josh Okogie, and now you got We just mentioned him in the trade. I'm blanking on his name right now. The Royce O'Neal. You got him right now. You lost the shooting in Utah Watanabe, but again, you got Eric Gordon for that. Like
Right.
You got big Drew Eubanks. Yusuf Nurkic is playing good and looks like a good like passing big within that offense, and it's still rebounded well. I think the Phoenix Suns, if between them and the Clippers, I'd got to give it to them as far as who I see knocking off the top team in the West, and in my eyes, that's the Denver Nuggets.
I'm gonna throw in my OKC in there too. But Johnny, go ahead, man. Give us your biggest threats from your perspective to the Nuggets in the West.
Kyrie said it. That was my team, the Suns. So it was the Clippers 1A. No, it was like 1A and 1B, Clips and Suns. Because and so it's just so interesting just breaking down both these teams. If you look at them on paper and the past couple games that they played, it's like 1A, 1B for me, but the 1A would be Phoenix. 1B would be Clippers. If you'd asked me this 2 days ago, it'd have been the other way around. Clips 1A, Suns 1B. Now it's shifting, you know what I'm saying? So I just put Clips in the Suns, bro. You got to look at it like you said, the glue guys. We already know about the superstars, right? Superstars aside, let's look at the glue guys for the Suns. Grayson Allen, 13 points per game. Nurkic is there. It's giving you 12 and 10, a double-double. Eric Gordon, 12 points per game. You even got Bobo shooting 70% from field goal range. Eubanks giving you good minutes. He's averaging about
Shout
4
out to
boards.
Bobo.
You know what I'm saying? For sure, they're seeing the glue guys seem like they're starting to get it. And then you added in Royce O'Neal to that mix. So now, like you were still able to keep Nasir Little. So, like, you got the glue guys who are starting to gel. They're starting to mesh. So that's more important because we knew that. I felt like these three were going to get it together. That's the deal with superstars. They get it together sooner or later. It's not too many big threes that didn't really work out. Maybe one or two.
No, it's a
off
lot
your
of big
finger.
things that didn't work out.
I would give Brooklyn didn't work out. OKC in the beginning didn't work out with Harden, the young Harden, Durant, Westbrook. Maybe
our
two.
our six is big three. What was it? Jimmy Butler and I mean
Jimmy didn't even touch the court.
And Embiid, yeah.
Our big three.
I mean, Ben Simmons and you could do that.
Off the top, it's a couple off the top I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah,
off the top, but it's off the top of your head versus superstar big three teams that usually work out pretty well or don't have a problem. As far as that's concerned,
that's fair.
The glue guys. It's the glue guys, y'all. It's the glue guys, bro. I'm telling you. And then look at the Clippers. You got Terrence Mann, about 8 points per game. Zubac, about almost a double-double, 12 and 9.
I'm surprised the Clippers didn't trade Bones Highland. I heard so much rumors about him. They was looking to trade him.
Yeah, he would have been a nice pick. He's young, though. They might want to be interested in keeping him. I like Bones adding to that. He gels. I like Bones. He's got some spark to him. Norman Powell, 14 points per game and shooting 50%. You got Coffee, you mentioned. Westbrook's actually giving you like probably their best production off the bench. 11 points per game, 5 and 4. And you got Mason Plumlee. You got not Mason. You got Plumlee coming in, 7 and 6. So it's the glue guys. I like that for the Clippers and the Suns. But if you was to match those two, I like the Suns a little bit better. That's what makes me inch a little bit better for them. I feel like they have a little bit more defense and a little bit more efficiency on the scoring end. A lot of like hot and cold guys on the Clippers team. A lot of hot and cold. Paul George just went for 0 for 8 and whatnot. And I think they gave up, God, Lord, they dropped 140 on Atlanta, I think, but they gave up like 120 something or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So the Clippers will give you games like that where's the defense? You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? I shoot, they just beat Harden did snap that game. I will give you that. He had like 30 that game and whatnot. And they just came up
shooting from 3.
Yeah.
He had 6. I think he knocked 6 threes down, bro. Cover my parlay. Thank you, bro. I'm sorry, Sixers. Yeah, I'm still betting on James Harden, kinda. I told you, bro. Like, if he's satisfied, he'll play good.
You know what? I was just praising the Clippers about the playoffs. Just bet on them on the playoffs. Just don't bet on Harden in the playoffs.
Right. Because that's another thing. We got to see what these players do in the playoffs, right? And that's another thing why I'm leaning towards the Suns as 1A. Because the Clippers all have individual superstars that have their own legacies and playoff question marks over their head that they got to carry. Except for Kawhi Leonard. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, other than that, you got to go with the Suns a little bit on this one. So other than that, I agree with Kyrie. Clippers, Suns, biggest threat to the Nuggets, or if you want to go the other way around, biggest threat to the Clippers, Suns. And I ain't go fraud. I like OKC. I like Minnesota. I got to give it the Denver C because playoff experience or lack thereof. And that's the only thing I'm putting over that. That's why I'm not, and you can't trump what OKC's doing. Minnesota, I can't hate on Rudy Gobert no more. As much as it pains me, I can't hate on Carl Anthony Towns
He
as
might
much.
win Defensive Player of the Year again.
Oh well, we talked about that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't give
yeah,
it. That's making me hate that award. But anyway,
yeah.
be that as it may, you know what I'm saying? You got to throw in the Suns in that mix. I mean, the Nuggets in that mix too. As far as top three, as far as who's contending, it's a boxing match up there at the top of that mountain.
Then let's bring it over to the East, man. I think you guys will probably be more quicker with your answers because you guys really, So who's the biggest threat to the Celtics in the East then, Kyrie? I mean, who? Give me your two teams. Who you think?
First of all, fellas, the Celtics are scary as shit, man. And I think they're a team with very
It's the
few.
leprechaun.
It's Drew
It's
Holiday
the
and Derek
year.
White on that perimeter. That's what it is.
Yeah, they're hounding the defense. Are you kidding,
Yo,
bro? That reminds me when the Pelicans or Rajon Rondo or Drew Holiday was putting work in, not just the regular season. They
hmm
gave the Portland Trailblazers some. They embarrassed CJ McCollum and then I'm seeing it
they
again.
just did. Yep.
I'm seeing it again.
The Celtics are really scary team, and I think their main weaknesses, which I feel like they can fix, and they just it's all about effort when it comes to this and just game plan. Is they're not really a great rebounding team from what I've seen at least, and they shoot a whole bunch of threes, and sometimes they fall in love with the three ball too much. But when you got guys like Jason Tatum, Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, like
Yeah, it don't
you
matter.
can't be too upset with what goes on because they usually do anything out there getting
Of
close to
course.
20 points a game each or over 20 points a game each. Um, so as far as like the top team in the East that I see like that can rival them and that can scare them is the Bucks is the obvious choice still in my opinion. Even though they own the skid with Doc, I don't
Yeah,
expect it to last or be this bad at least.
right.
Um, headed into the playoffs and coming going through March,
Of
but
course.
they still have guys like Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo that's not going to
Okay.
let that team. They're not going to let that team sink too bad from where they are. They let the boat sink a little bit, letting the Cavs and my Knicks sneak up there with them a little bit. But
Mm.
that's the other team I see as the main threat is the Knicks. And
Yeah,
I said they're scary as shit to me. I said the Celtics are scary for
that's
this one reason. I think this is the our biggest kryptonite with the Celtics is Drew Holiday when he plays against Drake, like Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is he has
mm.
bad. He's not the same. Like Drew Holiday does a great job on Jalen Brunson,
He does a
and
great job on most guards.
he does a great exactly like that's no secret. But it seemed personal for some reason when it gets Brunson. I don't know if that's because like he plays for my team or something, but when
Ah,
Drew Holiday matched up against him, bro, like it really get dirt. And I'm
hey
just thinking
man.
of adding Derek White into that mix. I think we played the Boston already. We played them once already this season. Twice, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. But we got cooked. But that was pre OG and Anunoby. And I think with the team that we have now, when everybody's healthy, when we have a healthy Julius Randle, who's been playing good since stinking it up in the beginning of the season, been playing very good, and it would be an all star if he didn't hurt his shoulder. Um, Again, Jalen Brunson was having a lot of people considering an MVP caliber season. We got Josh Hart playing good. Dante DiVincenzo's been on an absolute tear.
That's
Um,
yeah,
I,
man. Shout out to him. You guys are
shout out
lucky you
to
don't
shout
play
out
him.
to shout out to Dante, bro. He's been killing it. He's been lighting up for three these past couple of games as well. I think
He's
he
reinvented
hit
his
like
whole
nine
game.
threes a few games ago.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting Mitchell Robinson back this season,
Mm,
but bro, Isaiah Hartenstein has
got
been a
something.
has been a fucking monster. He's been a true monster.
He's taking advantage of his opportunity. He's showing the
Well,
Knicks why I'm valuable.
I'm talking about defense, rebounds, passing the ball, being unselfish, just playing within the flow of the offense. Isaiah Hartenstein has been like absolutely perfect for us this season. And
Yeah.
again, we get OG back. We got the new additions and Bogdanovich and Alec Burks. I honestly think like just roster wise, like on paper, like matchup for matchup, we match up pretty well with the Celtics.
Mm.
But again, bro, that team is scary, and I think there's only so much we can do when it comes to defending guys like Tatum. At the same time, Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis lit us up last time he played us, and there's nothing Julius Randle could do about it.
Crystal
So
Porzingis got some vengeance against y'all, man. Y'all
he
ain't y'all
definitely,
get y'all misused them, then y'all traded them.
bro, his misguided anger should all be towards Phil Jackson.
Oh
Ask him,
man.
he'll tell you. It should all be towards Phil Jackson. But yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be really hard to knock off the Celtics. I agree with you, Kyle. I think they destined for the finals unless something like catastrophically like goes bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I honestly think about the between like the Bucks and the Knicks. I think my Knicks is up there as far as being like the most competitive and the most likely to knock them off or to challenge them for that top spot.
All right, Johnny, put the spotlight on you, man. Talk to us. Give us your perspective. Who you think is the biggest threat to come out the East besides the Celtics? And then we'll move on to the last topic.
Yeah, bro. There you go again, guys. Kyrie got it. I another one. I was gonna pick your Knicks, bro. But I also, once again, guys, I got a 1A and a 1B again, and like Kyrie pointed out again, Cleveland. Another 1A and 1B. So now,
I wanted to go with
if I
Cleveland.
was to if I was to choose between the A and the B of the one, um, again, I would do it like this. I'm looking at pieces. I'm looking at glue guys. I'm looking at outside of the obvious superstars. And I got love for you, Kyrie. I gotta go 1A Cavs, 1B Knicks. Only because I feel like when I look at the glue guys on the Cavs, it defense screams a little bit more to me. Like you said with the Knicks, outside of Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, obviously, Dante DiVincenzo's give you 13 points per game. Solid on the defensive end. OG Anunoby, another good defensive piece when he comes back. I like Hartenstein making the most of his minutes. He's up to almost 10 points a game. I forgot how many boards he stepped up his boards too. I think he's flirting around with a double double, averaging that a game as well. And as well as that, you guys just seem to be meshing a lot. But when I look at the Cavs blue guys, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I mean, outside of Jared Allen, obviously, Harris LeVert, Georgie Niang, Isaac Okoro. Little bit, not that much, just a little bit more defensive talent on that side as far as wings, and definitely the front court. And I think they will be able to give Boston a little bit more of an issue right now if the playoffs were to start. Compared, we'll see how things shape up and
I see.
whatever. But
I definitely
yeah,
see
I mean,
what
what
you're
do you think
saying.
about that?
I definitely see what you're saying because that Twin Towers with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen it would definitely give Kristaps and their bigs like Al Horford and what's his name? I can't believe I forget his name. Luke Cornett,
Luke, yeah.
who they be having out there sometimes too. I think they give them more of a challenge down low in that front court. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I definitely think they do. Um, but the Cavs haven't addressed something which was their downfall to us in the playoffs last year, and that's that bench scoring.
Ah,
I think that bench scoring, especially with the team like the Celtics, who they don't go super deep into their bench, and when they do, it's not for too long until Jason Tatum comes back in or Kristaps come back or Jalen Brown come back in. So they don't really have to as much. I mean, you got guys like
yeah.
Hayden Pritchard that's okay for like that's cool for like a quick game like O'Shea Brissett.
But
The
Georgie
boys
Niang and Max Strus ain't gonna save you.
they're not. Again,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's for sure. But hey, y'all both 9-1 y'all last 10. So I got a 1A, 1B, bro. Cavs Knicks as far as biggest threat for Boston.
and I was gonna say this though, like as far as like because I was this close to putting the Cavs in over the Bucks because the Cavs.
And look, that's because the Bucks can't get out there on here. You already said the 1-4 skid. I got to see about the Bucks. I'm not even putting them
Yeah,
up there.
but the Cavs, I think, kind of like the Knicks taste blood in the water with Embiid going down, and the Sixers haven't looked. Y'all haven't looked good since he's been down, bro.
Bro, that's all
And
ESPN been talking about. I think we're 4-11 since he's been down.
what that's probably all the games he
Games
four
that
and
he didn't
11.
play.
You're right. Got you. And then what Milwaukee trying to get their stuff together with under a new coach. I think the Cavs, just like us, are really motivated, and they just got Darius Garland and Evan Mobley back. Bro,
Yep.
that's a team. That's a team. And
Mobley's
I'm not.
fine.
I'm definitely as a Knicks fan. I'm definitely
To get
looking
back
out
to
for
his
him. I got
16
my
points
eyes
per
on him.
game. Probably
Yeah.
more. Evan Mobley's going to get back to his 16 a game. Yeah, Jared Allen dropping 15 and double and just God knows how many blocks. Bro, it's yeah. Oh, can I say real quick? Can I just play around real fast and just say, just for the sake of history, I just want to say if the Heat sneak in, look out, Boston. I just want to say that just for the sake of history, like 2020 and
Always,
2023, the
always gotta keep an
upsets,
eye on
and
Miami.
they almost beat them in 2022. They lost Game 7 by 4. And just bro, we got to keep it real. The Heat, I talked about their coaching. They just better coaching, defensive versatility on defense, and they just seem to expose Boston every single time they play them.
Right.
Like they just seem like they have that niche. They just got that whatever that Boston uh kryptonite is, bro. They just seem to have it. And I can never just count them out. And Boston knows that. That's why they picked up Drew Holiday and Porgy, Chris Porzingis. But so they know that, bro. So they got to they low key got Miami in the back of their head. Like I think Miami's like seventh, but they always do this, right? They always stay at the bottom feeder and then float around. I'm gonna tell you, just I gotta say it, just for the sake of history, and we've seen it done before. If Miami sneaks in, they're my dark horse as the biggest threat to Boston. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, I'll go with the obvious. But I do want to mention the Heat.
I can definitely see that because Jimmy definitely played with food in the regular season. He be missing games. Sometimes he's just not as aggressive.
He's
But when
always
it comes to
deferring,
playoffs,
something like that when he is playing.
when it comes to, it's just like Miami know, like, yo, we going to give it to him. And now they got Tyler Hero. They didn't have Tyler Hero last playoff. And Hero's been on a bit of a
He's
skid.
healthy.
He's slumped
He's
a little
healthy.
bit. But overall this season, he's been really good. I think he's putting up like 24 a game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Where we at? Hero. Yep. 24 a game. 22.
And
22 a game.
Ben's been really good too. Ben's been playing very, very solid. I don't disagree with you at all. I think Miami could definitely be a dark horse if they get stuff
Sneak in
together.
there.
And yeah. But we're gonna get it moving to the next topic, man. It's just me and you right now. I think Kyle still might be using the bathroom or something.
See, he's
But
good. He always.
we're gonna move to the last topic, which is the 65 game rule, where of course we've been talking about it. It's been talked about so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to play 65 games to be eligible for NC's award like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Six Man of the Year, stuff like that. So what is your overall feelings about the rule itself, Johnny? Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's a little too harsh on the players? Should it be lowered a little bit, or do you think this is just a response to like what we've seen these past couple of seasons with players resting and load management and stuff like that? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
I said 75. This is a couple seasons ago. There was rumors about this coming up, and I originally said 75. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go 65. That's a come on. These are grown men, professional, multi-million-dollar athletes. Hence, leading to my next point: cut their contracts. Like they want to miss games, and it's not cleared by an NBA sanctioned doctor. Cut them. This is reminding me of like the Kawhi Leonard situation where he had got his knee looked at by an outside doctor after being cleared by an NBA specialist. And it was a whole lot of controversy with that. Hence, the league put this new rule in that, like, later on, how it's got to be NBA sanctioned doctors or else or not.
Yeah.
There was a thing, right, with the Joel Embiid injury. I'm gonna catch it back up now. The Joel Embiid injury. Leading up to that, we lost our last two, I believe. We was getting our behind kicked on that road trip. We needed to come back home, but yeah, either way, we was getting our behind kicked. We played them, I feel like, out of pressure. So I was reading reports saying, leading up to the Golden State Warriors game, a physician cleared him to play, but they said that it's up to the player as well if they feel like they can go. So it's like if a doctor says you're cleared to play, but a player still says no, the team has to abide by that, and vice versa. But
Right.
Embiid came in and told the staff that he wanted to play, and he got cleared. But there were people in that locker room saying that he shouldn't play and he should sit. And
Right.
there were whispers of that. but they put the stigma of he got cleared, we're following the rules, and he said he wanted to play, so we're going to put him out there. Now he got hurt. Now it's a long-term injury. Now they're going back to find out who cleared him, and now they're trying to point fingers. It's a whole big mess. In this situation right here, 65 game rule, they're trying to keep players to keep playing. Take their money away. All right. I feel like the season should be cut. First of all, I disagree with 65 games from the rip. If you got a problem with players playing, not playing, cut their money. If they're not cleared by medical physicians, and then they can't play. But if they're cleared and it's doing loads management and they're not playing because they're 38 and they're chasing stats and they're still trying to save them for the playoffs, I think financial action needs to be taken, and that's the only way I feel like to make players play. Bro, I disagree, man. I'm upset with this rule of 65. I hope it doesn't get passed. I agree with shortening the season, but I feel like it should be 75. Along the range of that, you can go 70. Give them 5 more games, but it's gotta be a number it's gotta be a number that's substantial to where as though players can get better, teams can gel, and at the same time, fans can watch basketball, bro. They're trying to cut the season. Like it's not that physical of a sport. It's not the NFL to where so you got to shorten the thing. Like you want to make it better. You have made it better. You're selling tickets. I don't see why you need to cut the season so short. I feel like the 70, 75 range. I was good with the concept of shortening the season, but this is too long. It's too short, bro. It's too much. I don't like it. You don't like
You
players
made
playing? Cut their money.
you made some fair points, Johnny. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. You're right. Cut their money. That's the biggest motivation. That's why we even got to this point because guys are taking off load management, and but don't get it twisted. I love how they kind of crank down on it because now we get to really see the guys like the stars play. Usually when it comes to main time or main matchups, holiday matchups or special occasions, the guys would take it as like a vacation day. When it's like people pay the tickets to come and watch you guys play. Like this is probably their Christmas. This is probably their whatever occasion it is. This is their birthday, whatever. So yeah, I'm with you on that. The money's the
Yeah,
biggest motivation for
the
everything.
league they tried with the mandatory superstars had to play. Like I think how many
Right.
like no more than two can sit out or
No
whatever,
more
and
than two, I believe. Yeah, no more
like
than two.
somebody and if they are hurt and they can't sit out, they have to be like courtside, like the
Yeah,
fans can
yeah.
see them like mandatory stuff. Like they
No,
tried
I
with
love
that.
that. I love
You know what
that.
I mean? The concept is making me mad.
So
See,
Kyrie,
I like I like the rule. I like the
yeah,
rule because there's as a fan, I'm just speaking from a strictly like fan perspective at this point. Ain't no more I hate than tuning into a game, seeing a game like on the schedule or something like, oh, I'm ready to watch this, John. And oh, Anthony Edwards out, Joel Embiid's out, and it'd be like little bullshit stuff like back tightness or like calf soreness or like toe bruise. Like it is like DeJounte Murray. I think DeJounte Murray got sat last night because the Hawks honestly thought they was going to trade him.
mm,
Like stuff like that, bro. I don't like I personally don't like that. And I think asking I think asking the players like, yo, to only the play 65 games. I think you only missing what 17. Like you got 17 games to miss.
right.
And if you got a cast, like if you got like a bad injury, like we see with like an Embiid, a tournament, some guys get torn. They like, hey, bro, that's tough. You wouldn't be considered anyway, though. Like you can be like depending on when it happened in the season. Like if you 20 games in and you putting up MVP numbers, like oh, you look like you're at the top of the MVP race right now, and you get hurt, they're not going to consider you later on anyway.
Right.
So I don't
The
see why.
concept of shortening it is okay, but you cool with 65?
Bro,
The
you got
concept of shortening.
asking players to play 65 games is not too much, bro. Out of 82, I'm gonna ask you to play to show up 65 games a year.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Listen, players back then, and we didn't get to watch too much of it, but we hear stories. We watch older guys talk. Players
Mm-hmm.
back then, and we got the stats. We got the stats to prove it too. Like
Mm-hmm.
older guys back then in like the 90s and the 80s, they played majority of these seasons back to back to back to back
The early
with
2000s too.
with worse medical care, with less medical
Yeah, it's
staff.
not as
Like the
advanced. Not as
technology
advanced.
wasn't even
Less
near as
advanced.
advanced to what it was.
Way less
Yeah.
advanced.
Like a meniscus tear B just got right now, where he's going to be out for like a month, I think. Back then, bro, that's a season.
Yeah,
Like,
that was yeah.
and
That's
then they
true.
come back, and then and come back. Most likely, they come back and they playing most of their games, and they not complaining. So it's just like, and then you got guys like Ja missing. A lot of these guys is missing games from like suspensions,
Hmm.
um, conduct, detrimental to team rules, little dumb stuff like that, bro. And we asking like, yo, stay healthy. Like you guys play basketball all year round anyway. Y'all go crazy in the Rico runs in the summertime. That's what, and that'd be my rebuttal against why like people like why guys say they don't want to play like serious in an All Star game and compete in the All Star. We all don't want to get hurt. Niggas be in Rico runs, the Chris Brickley workout, like the Chris
Yo,
Johnson
word.
workout. They
The
ass
Drew League be going crazy.
all of that playing
We
their
saw
ass
we,
off, trying to get a
we
contract.
the world got to see, especially the Sixers fan, when we saw that Ben Simmons workout. Man, we thought he was about to start
You
taking
got
the
yeah,
tables. Like
you got something
we
you can't pay the man to do in game. He's doing for free at a workout.
man, we thought he was about to be something special, son. That
Like
workout.
it's like at a certain point, bro. Like guys got to put like I think guys got to take pride in being durable and being available all season long.
That's true. I'm with
Like,
you on that.
I'm not comfortable with my MVP playing 55 games.
You know what? Okay.
I'm not comfortable with my rookie of the year edging out a guy and he played 47 games or something like that.
Right. And then the other guy that really competed played at least 70 or 80%, Right. Yeah. No, I don't
I'm
see your
saying
point.
some stuff like that doing some stuff like that's not fair. Like the other guy was available. He showed up to games. He gave the fans what they wanted to
He
see.
played his heart out day in, day out. Right.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention this too because I heard Ernie Johnson mention this on one of the TNT broadcasts right when Embiid had got hurt and we didn't know it was a complete meniscus tear. He said even though he can't qualify for MVP, let him qualify for first team All NBA because he definitely would have made it.
Right.
And there probably would have been no other guys throughout the season that would have beat him out for it, for real.
That's
So
true.
let him make second team or first team or like let him make an All NBA team. And it's like I like that I can work with. Like I can work with that. Feel me? But when it comes to like these man awards, like defensive player of the year, six man of the year, MVP, like nah, like you gotta be available.
Just yeah. Availability is the greatest ability.
Yeah, that's just
That's it. All right. I love it. I love it. This is a real awesome episode. And I hope the fans enjoy this episode as much as we enjoyed recording this episode for these guys. I mean, hopefully you guys loved all the topics. We brainstormed these topics to bring to you guys, to our fans, day in and day out. And like I said, that concludes episode 143 of the Restricted Zone podcast. Big shout out to Kyrie and Johnny. This episode really was awesome. We get some strong criticism, strong. It was just a great overall episode. You guys had some energy to the guys today. Nick Kyrie was defending his Knicks. He got passionate. He felt like a whole new energy burst into him. Seeing like he sees a bright future for the Knicks. And I don't know. You guys always get disappointed somehow, some way. So I'm just telling you, I don't know. I'm hoping
look,
for
bro.
you guys.
When you have a trade deadline this boring, you gotta find a bright spot somewhere.
Ha!
And my Knicks for once happened to be the bright spot on trade deadline day. So
That
Bro,
you know
whatever.
what?
Hey, listen, we can't. I can't even talk, bro. Kyrie's happy, and I'm just over here punching air.
Listen, and with that being said, like I said, you guys can follow us on Instagram, the Restricted Zone Pod. The link is going to be in the description below. You can follow each and every single one of us, it's 8 of us, on our podcast directly. You can send us DMs on what topics you feel like we should talk about, what you want us to talk about. We're definitely open to responding and doing anything and listening to topics that we feel like is definitely worth talking about. Also, don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, man. We're on YouTube. This is going on YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. If you're not really a big fan of watching stuff on YouTube, you can catch us on more so on the audio side, Apple, Spotify, podcasts for anchors, Google Podcasts. I mean, listen, you name it, we're on there. So just give us a tune, support us, share it out with any sports fans you know. And like I said, we just can't thank you guys enough for sticking with us. And like I said, this year we're ready to take off with it. So Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the Super Bowl this Sunday. If you guys didn't check out the episode on 141, check this out. We give our Super Bowl predictions. We talk about the playoffs, recap. So definitely check that out. Stay in tune. Have a great week, everyone, and enjoy the episode, guys.